Eis fáidir a chuna program mais é deachcinn seo bíag inadal alnabanach ach cuideach bíag étarteach eis sin tóh an na Valvona an Crolla an Donation. Cuideach be sin sa dayás na bórs hen an na sireach op réin. Eis cuairtíile go bailna cíile an na ar Eis go dear as an na bailna cíile sin táiseach eis nar cuideach go sin a nús mach gíirmat.
Báiseach dídacha fan thuúlaáil an ggóla na mí treifil agus mí bread and butter pudding.
Dá chuid.
Dá chuid hat dichmanaitin sealamigah mar gas an treifil chudí chéile giúsge thuúlaáil, but giúsge bringid a bhain nach luga chud an na baula. Seogat mar sin gaíannig. Chalig go las even sponge iannig mar sin sin hen gaíannig a chan je laken achtig tegenhandig a supermarket.
Sé, kijk hoe dit doet.
Kijk.
Aha.
Tjach.
O sé go jarre, mar sunne.
Mar sin gaíannig. Ik golik haal je het use, je het uit mijn je gaat dit again.
Ah, maar je raad hem niet, je wat al hachs gezien.
Zit er nog handje. Pak ik sherry. Oké. Dus kun je er nog van.
Oorker.
Oorker in jasje. Ik pekanaste van dat je toch goed.
Jo, lekker maar dit heb gedaan. Dat nu is toen je keer het haar gunja kost, dus hoe het een keer roet ik in Jeffrey'tje. Biootje het toch net wel horen.
Kom, misje. Haniel. Ook het er bem shirash en die je bent je schrijft je wel kjol in het restaurant en nog klein het niet.
Nog klein het oké, ja.
Nee, dan is het als je tidig. Hier, dat is toch politisch al.
En mijn Christian zit naar route naar werk het Jeshal gedaan, nee, je dat is al, ik ben meer goede zien, je dat werk.
Of hem je goede kaal weet je zal ik.
Aha.
Schijn dat kan zijn, hem je staan heel hem heen, dat is meer dat je lang, veel met dat je dat, had je tol maar een hele, had
je. Ja, reis.
Dat is, dat is niet, dat is niet. Nog een shot, dat is niet goed. Ergens een oven. Nog een t-shirt. Dat is veel meer een nasje. Ik had een beetje kieuze blowtorch. Han je laat het skiën. Breng je het je skiën use ik. Ergens voor shen slag met shen jävla
Oh, zeg. Hij is toest je aan oorst in je maag, hè?
Dat is een koude, hè?
Oh, zeg.
Ja, daar.
Zie ik het maar.
Dus.
Oh, zeg, hij zie ik.
Nou, her.
Ah, hij zie ik het maar.
Morgen han je lekker dag.
Ik kan je zien, ja.
Ik kan je niet zien. Oké. Dus de joker. En ik heb dat.
Maar zie ik het, ja. Zeg maar, ik heb het af.
Zo maar her. Han je laat zeg maar dat je net bread and butter pudding. Dus dat hebben als je niet kiest ik ramen dishes.
Oh, zeg.
Is niet, maar ik zeg het heen. En je laat nog uien. Panje, sjoelke. Waar is nog van lachen voor de bokken gaan.
Zeg.
Ze nog van gaan avond. Because ze zegt toch lekker taal. Ja. Ergens.
Ze zien je kost dit doen je met haar wil. Zet de fijn taar doen je keer je leed.
Oh
ja.
Ergens nog van Yeah. Good. Custard. Agus neisi techa céad becan na searteach busin. Ó, na gael na fit.
Si drech o hwydd na che, na sy'n
Tá
i'ch.
seo nó an pitracha, sgent.
A ti'n do, ia, gyda na hyn i'ch.
Agus an nó an dustach bec. Na gada.
A sy'n snog.
Na sio skipol da sé.
A sy'n, fia, fia. Nist company bí cha animal sa donation. Company is tí etaltrich a hannig gan vala. Ais iad gáil fo dhéinealach go dhéinealach van Warsain, Valvona and Crolla. Seo Angela nich góin.
Donation ag am na féis agus hán fan arall i cachard ach an dú chairúd an gomas ó hreit a ghealtain gósa. sé áte lé hóríte a bhainte gnéidir a hanna Valvona agus Crolla. Go hána siche há si an gníomhachas seo ag dead an naige fléontíag, agus gascail an háit úr ha seo an an naicétíag tríhead sa céhir. Ma ha uiagán an biag, sé an na háitigan iad an bachár gaib tau, tron an éis, neog a ddíúig am san biele. Hanna fálaí an ha seo mérfaileach. Ar an úr, lusan, cáise, coffi, cwyd mi gealt yn cwyd sy'n siacad unia fôr díadach y cwad sa fiach yn mi tegi ianw. Gysgol y fwy sios na tríhedan ach sa dy ronna sin fa iachtri fôr ag edalgich a hanig y gwyddoch y sio seg yn roi bwy ed cogadach albanach agus han sgiolach gaca ed yn dyn eisiau sy'n dior Dear Francesca ys clydd Mary Contini.
Francesca came about through angst and anger because there's 15 years between my two children. I had Francesca as soon as I got married, couldn't have any after that. And then I had Olivia, and just as I was having to settle into babysitting again, Francesca, now 16, decided to go off to university. So I thought, anyway, what I thought, it was really just pain when my oldest daughter had left. And I thought the best way to I wanted to write a cookery book to explain to her about the history of where our cooking comes from. And it was as personal as that, and I think maybe it comes across personal like that. Because once I started, I thought, you know, these young ones don't realise that even their grandmothers and even their mother had romances as well. So I wanted to look at the way her grandparents, you know, started their families, how they managed to feed their families, and just record that.
Were a lot of these recipes very traditional, given to you by your mother and her mother?
Yes, I think the way I cook, mostly having learnt to cook from my grandmother on my father's side, who we lived very near. And then with my mother, because my mother had cafes, so we used to cook Scottish food for the cafes and then Italian food for the family at night.
Obviously, Italian cooking has had a huge impact on Scotland for a long, long time now. How have you seen the popularity grow yourself in your own experience through the years?
I think the strongest way that I see it is I go into schools to talk to kids about healthy eating and all that kind of thing, and you say to the kids in any primary school in Scotland, what is your favourite food? And they all say pasta and pizza, or nowadays more pizza and pasta. And then you say to them, do you like stovies and mince and tatties? And they go, no, I don't get that. I quite like stovies.
Obviously, this is a very, very busy shop you have here. Have you seen the brand grow and grow in strength and popularity through the years?
Yes, but we've spent a lot of effort in trying, our image for the shop from when we took over, Philip and I, over 25 years ago, was to try and get the best from small producers and capture that market. So it's like the modern artisan movement that's going on now. So most of our suppliers are direct to the growers of the wine or the producers of the fruit and vegetables, the cheeses. It's all direct. So that's built up in a nice way. And I think the customers now know and trust that we're providing them with that direct link.
We can see all this lovely fresh fruit and
I know,
veg
it's
beside us
lovely,
here.
yeah.
But where does most of your produce come? You said from the suppliers
Uh-huh.
themselves. Is that from Italy?
A
or?
lot of the fruit and veg from Italy, but in the last 10 years we've worked with local, and this also because of the change in climate, we've worked a lot with local farmers. So we've got 2 or 3 farms in East Lothian that grow Italian seeds for us and Italian salads. So for example, in the beginning of the spring we'll get fave broad beans coming from Italy, and then about 6 weeks later they come from East Lothian. So we get a longer season that way. And then things like chanterelle, they're picked up in Perthshire, they're wild. Herbs are grown up in Perthshire for us. The garlic comes from the man who comes with literally an onion Johnny, who comes to the door. I never phone him, but he arrives once a year and says, I've got the garlic, so that comes straight from France. So all those wee links, it's all community of the shop, it brings it all together.
And I believe you're expanding the shop as well. Can you tell me a wee bit about that?
Well, we've 3 years ago we opened Vin Cafe because we felt that people wanted to eat the food. Maybe since we've been writing about it, people want to taste the food as well as buy the ingredients. So we opened Vin Cafe, but we were approached at the beginning of this year by House of Fraser to ask us if we could do anything with Jenner's Food Hall. So we're going up to Jenner's. And in Jenner's what we want to do is put really the cream of Scottish produce and Italian and the rest of the world, as we call it, France and Spain. So a more Scottish drive in the food hall offering up there, and more French wine, because down here we concentrate on Scottish wines. On Scottish wines is a Freudian slip. On Italian wines, but up in Jenner's we'll really want to show some French wines. So that'll be quite a change.
Agus seachar am na féise hawn, mar is trícha harrwtig yn y tachart an sa chachi seo. Yn thuris seo, sé manager the company, Philip Contini, a haga hartgain.
Una casetta in campagna, un orticello, una vigna. Qui chi vi nasce vi regna, non cerca e non sogna la grande città. Un dolce suon di zampogna e tanta pace nel cuore. Se vuoi goder la vita, vieni qua giù in campagna, è tutta un'altra cosa, vedi il mondo color di rosa, quest'aria deliziosa non è l'aria della città. Svegliati con il gallo, specchiati nel ruscello, bacia la tua compagna che t'accompagna col suo marello. Ogni figliola è un fiore, nato sulla collina, baciano una dozzina, oh che felicità!
Fáidir asco i de bórsta is sin drasta sa de bí an bór's head an in in riúdi an a sirach op rain. Now, the last time we saw you, Stuart, you were cooking some exotic meats like zebra in Inverness in the Zanzibar restaurant. What kind of style have you got now? Is it much the same or have you changed?
It's a little bit different, Angela, I must say. I've gone from cooking ostrich, snake, impala, springbok, all that kind of stuff, you know. At the time it was a fashion more than anything else, but working 15 hours a day in the industry, although it's your own business, you soon get a little bit tired of it, you know. So I decided to take time out and do some traditional Scottish cooking. And the most essential ingredient of Cullen skink, let me tell you, is this. This is smoked haddock from the oceans. It's not just ordinary smoked haddock, because when I first go to a job, I source out the best. And it took me on my travels down to a place in Aberdeen called Russell Road. And I was stumbling down there one day and walked into this fish house. And of course these big guys have been smoking fish for 40 years were looking at me thinking, who's this guy? So I kind of begged my way in to see them, and we got chatting. I explained I was a chef, I was new in town, I was looking for some ingredients. And he showed me his kiln. Now this kiln, which we might see later on in the programme or a later stage, is never been cleaned in 40 years, and the smell to me was that of Cullen skink. Now you just have to imagine that, because that's where the flavour comes from. Some might say, oh, you've got the best recipe, you've got the best steak, but it all stems from the smell of that kiln, and that's the essential ingredients. A lot of people would probably argue with that as well. The other ingredients, we've got some nice fresh local leeks. I know they're local, I know they're fresh because they came from my mother's garden. So there you go. We've got some new Maris pipers. Now for ease of speed, I've already blanched them and I've kept the skin on. That gives a nice little earthy element to them as well. Okay? We've got some nice fish stock and we've got some white wine and of course some double cream. Okay? That's it. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 ingredients and that will make a superb Cullen skink. Okay, the first thing to do is obviously get your butter in the pan. Now there's a lot of different ways and there's a lot of different formulas, but it's technique that counts. 2 parts of the leek, you've got the white part and you've got the green part. Now, we use the white part of the leek that goes in first into the butter. This is because if you put the green part in first, by the time the Cullen skink's finished, it's not as crispy and it loses a lot of colour. So you get that kind of the khaki colour, if you like, from a leek when it's finished, you know. Now, whilst this is just sauteing away, I've cut a little fillet out from the actual fish itself. This is going to be the garnish on top. So what I take this, again, a little bit of butter on top, and along with a baby leek, I'm going to place it under the grill. Okay? Under the grill, just like that. Another key element to making Cullen skink is whilst the leeks are sauteing off and you're getting all that savoury flavour, is to think about a stock. Now the stock is a fish stock, but also a key element to the stock is the fish itself. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put half of the haddock in there, half of the smoked haddock, and this is going to kick off a nice smoky, and that kiln flavour is starting to come through already. I don't know if you can smell that, Angela. Okay. So just put the lid on for a couple of seconds. That's our smoked haddock. As you can see, it's well and truly on the way there. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to put in the potatoes. Remember, they're part blanched. Just get
So they're not cooked, you couldn't use sort of your leftover potatoes,
No,
could
now
you?
I'll tell you, the reason why I'm doing it this way is because, obviously for speed and ease, and a lot of people have potatoes left over from a meal as well, so it's a good way to regenerate food that's been left over. Okay, so the potatoes are in there. Next we're going to put the wine in. Okay, it's just a normal dry white wine. Okay. I think my ancestors would have a field day if they saw me putting wine in Cullen skink, but we've got to move on, haven't we? You know? Okay. Just checking under the grill, we've got that little fillet with a baby leek, and it just needs to be. I've got asbestos fingers, so it's okay. So one side's done, and the next is the fish stock. And you can see that simmering away nicely. It's bizarre to think that really, at the end of the day, this dish, as a main course, could probably feed a family of 6, and that's for probably about £5.
Yeah, that's
So in
very good.
this day and age, I think it's
Pretty
worthwhile
good.
looking at as well, and it's pretty good value, and it's damn tasty. You know?
Yes.
Okay, so in goes my fish stock. Now that's going to take about 3 minutes, just to render up to the heating level before I put my cream in. Okay?
So it's quick as well, it doesn't really take very long.
Doesn't take very long at all. You know, it's it's such. I can't remember how many years I've been cooking this for, on and off. But most places I've been cooking at, Cullen skink goes on the menu once, it stays on the menu. Next, we're going to put in some cream. Now I'm using UHT cream because it's got higher, obviously, heat retention as well. Because if you put normal cream in, take your eye off the ball for a couple of minutes and it's going to split, yeah, because it's got a lot of butter in there as well.
It kind of curdles, does it?
It does.
Yeah.
Then the rest of your fish goes in there. Now, if you remember, when I put the fish in to begin with, it broke up because it's part of the stock. We're not going to break this up now, we're just going to leave this as whole pieces. So when you're getting a nice potato, you're getting leeks, and you're getting the fish as well. Then lastly, we'll put in the leeks here. Now we're just going to bring this to the boil. Put the lid on.
Ha gullen skink ag stúrte céint choma eis be sin cynnych de stúrte díist na sanamiche sa drí.
Tá dahan agus blasna nulach iad a bhrót bíteis agus granúil seo. San seo féime siú únan ar a dhearach go mín, cúran agus cúran geala ar a dhearach, bíteis iad a bhrích, coriander, paprika agus sú glasrich agus sú granúil. Tá seach cút na húnanan agus na cúran geala anna becan óla i chaneola agus frósta sias gus a pás at búk. Nuair sin cudána sú glasrich an bíchtis brich, coriander agus an cayenne pepper. Gala agus nuair sin na a hagel tiongta sias an ches agus bríte nuair sin son 50 minút. Nes go bhfuil bhrócht déisiol ha mi díadach a ffrónach as a blender agus ha mi díadach a nise dóirse isteach gláine gan na sú granúil seo. Agus sin an déisiol. Sin an brócht in is déisiol agus ha mis díadach iad a sceitachach le bagan yoghurt agus crún rangach iad an hostich.
Eis sin an na seachcin seo, na hechcin be sin anna de bí rúisineach a cúideach mar inad dúchas, a mi dáchas go bh sé conhain eis a céint, ige sin mar sin líf.